We have here a Kenmore 700 series electric clothes dryer that has the issue that it is running, but the heater isn't heatering. There's no heat coming from the element. So we're going to try to figure that out here. First step, safety first, unplug it. I've zapped myself a few times down there. Don't do that. From a few folks I've talked with and just from having an idea how these things work, the most likely culprits are either the heating element is burnt out, which is possible, but I did just replace that a couple of years ago, so I don't know. But it sounds like the thermal fuse is probably a more likely culprit. So we're gonna dig in there, see what we can find, and figure it out. All right, this bracket holds the heating element inside there. And down along here, you can see some electronics controllers. There's one. There's another one back there. And some there. So those seem like likely culprits. That guy, this guy down here, that's just dangling, seems like maybe an issue. But I also notice that this heating element is supposed to be on that round pipe in the back, and it's not. So maybe something jostled and burnt out there too. This heating element comes out pretty easily other than unhooking the wires. It's basically just this bolt right here and potentially a bolt way in the back. Yeah, they're quarter inch hex, I believe. Pretty easy to get out. Quarter inch. Fits right on there. Now, with that one screw out, the whole kit and caboodle can come out, and we can look a little closer at some of these fittings. Yeah, I think that's gonna be our culprit, but I would always recommend taking a picture just like this to show which wires go where, to make it easier to remember when you go to put everything back together. Because in order to pull that out, all those wires got to get unhooked. This is why it's important to unplug it, because some of those are live, and take it from me, they zing if you zap them. Okay, well, we got this whole thing pulled out, and our thermal fuse here, very clearly thermally fused, did its job, but we're gonna need a new one of those. Found them on Amazon for about 10 bucks. Could be here Monday. There's my, there it is. There's that part number, the 3977394. That's the part, that's what popped it up on Amazon for me. But as I tipped it up, this fell out. That looks like one of the coils of the heating element. And looking inside, I see my heating element touching the bottom, which feels like probably not great. So while I've got this out, I'm going to pull that heating element out and see if it needs to be replaced too. They're not usually crazy expensive. It's just a bunch of coiled nichrome wire. So we'll pull that out and see. To do that, I need to pull off that screw. Again, it's just going to be a quarter inch. This bottom bracket pops off, and then the heating element can slide right out. All right, so that just slides off. Now the heating element, one screw right there, and then it just slides right out. Okay, so this slides right out, and as expected, it's all beat up. It's bad enough that some parts are stuck on the inside. That should have just slid right out, no problem. So it looks like we get a new heating element too. All right, thanks to 2-day shipping, we already got our replacement parts. So I'm gonna pop the old dead thermal fuse off. It's that same quarter inch drive fit the other piece used. That comes off. This should now just pop right out. There it is. Now, alright, here's the thermal fuse from Amazon. Crack that open. This goes on super easy. It's just the reverse of the other. Pops right in and put the screw back in. All right. The old heating element just slid right out. New one comes out of the box and it just slides right in that same little ridge. New one slides right in. This piece goes right in that cutout. It has a little copper tension piece that goes in the slot. Slides in just like that. And then we just put the little screw back on there to hold it. Go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. New heating element is in. All of our parts are back in. Now it's just I'm gonna vacuum all the lint out from underneath. All right, now when this goes back in, this fits inside the opening in the back. This goes in the front. A few little dusty bits to get out of here yet. And that, but first we want to put this bracket back on. So this bracket goes inside and sits just like this. And then one of those screws goes right here to hold it in place. There we go. Now, this whole thing will slide in. Well, you put this last screw down on the bottom to hold it in place. Hi, Bam Bam. And then we're ready. Then we're ready to give it a try. Well, we got to hook the wires back up. Oh, never took off this broken piece of the other one. Right, so that goes on here. That I'm pretty sure goes on here. We'll double check our pictures though, right? This is why we take pictures, so that we know where all the wires go back. Great. So, all hooked back up, everything in. Thermal fuse is back in place. Our wire's hooked back up. So now we just need to slide this whole thing back in. We should be ready to test it. Hi, Bam Bam. All right, now this just goes back in. This rounded end of the ductwork that the heating element is in goes into that rounded end of the ductwork in the back. Being careful not to tangle it up if the other wire is in there. It's a little fiddly to get it to set back inside there. But it fits. And then that last screw goes back in place right here to hold it in. All right, once that's in, it's just a matter of reconnecting the wires where they were before. And again, this is why you make sure you take pictures before you unhook the wires so you can remember what goes where. Honestly, some of these are easier to hook up before you put it in, especially if you're trying to record it. Also, definitely make sure that it's unplugged for this part. All right. There we go. We are back installed. Oop. I got one ground I got to refix here, but we're installed. Now, the moment of truth, we plug it in, see if we get heat. Plugged in. Move the cat out of the way. Okay. Here we go, look at that. We have heat. Now there's a little cover that goes right here, but otherwise we are done. Well, project's done, and we've gotten a few loads of laundry through the dryer, and it didn't start on fire. It's still working. It's a successful job. So I can record a little bit of a wrap up here. So the two parts we replaced, the thermal fuse and the heating element, really easy. I think that whole project, all we had to do was take out, 4 little screws, and they were all the same size. So they're just little 1/4-inch hex head machine screws. Really simple, cheap, inexpensive tools to use. All you got to do is be willing to get in there and give it a try. So I will throw a link down below to the parts that I ordered off Amazon. Maybe I'll throw up something that's more of a generic search too for you. But all you really got to do is search on Amazon for your model number and thermal fuse, or your model number and heating element. I did check with the local appliance shop, because if I can, I always prefer to shop local, right? Support the little guys, support the family-run business when you can. But those parts that I ordered were less than $30 on Amazon, and to get them locally was over $85. So too steep of a difference for me. But check with your local parts shop. Heck, check with if you know people that run scrap metal locally. They might have some parts sitting around for you too. But if your dryer isn't heating, probably an easy fix. So give it a try. Good luck. Let us know if it works or if you got questions. Cheers.